Good evening. You are watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. First, the headlines. The Research Council Awareness Campaign visits South Bulletin to spread the culture of innovation and entrepreneurship. Fish production in the Sultanate increases by 12.6% during the first quarter of the year. And the Sultanate's pavilion in Milano Expo attracts great number of visitors. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. The awareness campaign of the Research Council continued its visits to various governorates of the Sultanate under the theme My Innovative Family. It aims to spread innovation culture and entrepreneurship among all segments of the society through the implementation of lectures and workshops. This national initiative is being conducted by the Research Council in cooperation with the Ministry of Education. It seeks to create a family environment supportive for innovation and entrepreneurship through giving consultation and establishing innovation clubs in schools. Ministry of Health held a ceremony to honor Sultan Qaboos Hospital Task Force team members for preparing the center ready to function. More details in the following report by Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubay'i.
The Cardiac Center project established in Salalah is one of the most important specialized projects which will provide its therapeutic services to the people in Sultan Qaboos Hospital. Behind this project, there were dedicated people who worked tirelessly to make this center a reality. In this context, a ceremony was held at the Ministry of Health premises in Muscat to recognize their effort. At the beginning of the ceremony, His Excellency Dr. Ahmed bin Mohammed Al-Saidi, Minister of Health, delivered a speech expressing his utmost thanks for all those participated in preparing the center to function. His Excellency said this is a new addition to the Minister of Health achievement for establishing specialized health services to the citizens. He added that the center is a qualitative shift towards modern cardiac services. This establishment came to keep with development in cardiac medicine and that satisfy the demand of such services in the country. On the other side, His Excellency Sayyid Dr. Sultan bin Yarub Al-Busaidi, Health Affairs Advisor, pointed out the challenges faced by the task force team and how they dealt with. He said that the cooperation spirit team demonstrated during the period has played a big role in dealing with such challenges. After that, His Excellency the Minister honored the task force team. Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubay'i, Sultanate of Oman Television.
The Sultanate's fish production increased by 12.6% during the first quarter of the current year, as to reach 59,274 tons compared to the same period last year. The value of fish produced by occupational fishing sector amounted to 48,122,000 Omani riyals. Statistics issued by National Center for Statistics and Information show that the Governorate of Wusta acquired 28% of the total fish production of the Sultanate, with a quantity exceeded 16,700 tons, while the Governorate of South Sharqiya came second with 16,474 tons, followed by the Governorate of Dhofar, which produced 9,149 tons. Crustaceans also witnessed an increase amounting to 250 tons, while squids caught during the first quarter of the current year decreased compared to the same period last year, amounting to 430 tons.
Sultanate of Oman Pavilion in Milano Expo 2015 from the 1st of May to the 31st of October 2015.
The Sultanate's Pavilion in Milano Expo 2015 received remarkable numbers of visitors during the second day of the opening of the exhibition. Here is a report.
148 countries, along with the Sultanate, are taking part in Milano Expo 2015 in the Italian city of Milano, the city that hosted this international event since nearly 100 years. The Expo adopted the theme Feeding the Planet, Energy for Life, to combat hunger and malnutrition suffered by human beings due to wars and natural catastrophes and economic crises. The Sultanate has been always keen to be present at Milano Expo and to support its humanitarian objective. The Sultanate's Pavilion will continue its activities for 6 months and is built with a unique architectural design inspired from the Omani environment. Visitors to the Sultanate's Pavilion in Milano Expo will enjoy Oman's geographical variety through visual portraits of such variety that Omani human being has adapted with and utilize its resources in producing food and the different living needs. His Excellency Dr. Hamad bin Saeed Al-Aufi, Under Secretary of the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries Wealth for Fisheries Wealth, said that the Sultanate succeeded in water management system long time ago by creating Falaj's system and currently by developing dams and setting up organizational legislations to use water. Visitors to the pavilion end their tour by ascending Al-Jabal Al-Akhdar portrait to acquaint with the seasonal crops on its green terrains in the middle of a real portrait of Omani Falaj that runs through those terrains. Visitors also can enjoy various Omani meals served at the restaurant allocated in the pavilion.
The Sultanate's total production in electricity and water sectors increased in February by 18.6% compared to the same period in 2014. The Sultanate's electricity production amounted to more than 34.8 gigawatt. Statistics issued by the National Center for Statistics and Information pointed out that governorates of North and South Batna and Zahra recorded the biggest increase rate in electricity production. The water sector also recorded an increase by more than 52 million cubic meters, with an increase rate of 12%. The governorate of Dhofar recorded an increase by 9.4% with around 6 million cubic meters, while water production in the governorate of Muscat decreased by 5.3%, recording around 13 million cubic meters. The production of other governorates of the Sultanate amounted to around 33 million cubic meters with an increase of 12.2%. A ceremony was held by the Directorate General of Education in the Governorate of Buraymi to mark the Work Social Workday. During the ceremony, social specialists in the schools of the Governorate were honored in recognition of their educational and social role in the community. The celebration included expressive speeches, theoretical sketches, student and traditional art shows. Still to come in our news bulletin. The Beach Handball Championship, organized by Oman Handball Association in cooperation with the Ministry of Sports Affairs, started last night.
ممثل الاتحاد الأندية وإعلاميين وجماهير.
Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. Syrian rebels shelled government-held districts in the northern city of Aleppo today, killing at least 12 civilians, including 3 children. Syrian state TV said the shelling, which killed 8 members of the same family, also left 45 people injured. The state news agency, quoting an unnamed police official, said 3 children were among those killed. The shells hit a residential area, damaging homes, shops, and cars. The Britain-based Syrian Observatory for Human Rights said rebel attacks in government-controlled areas killed at least 5 people, including 1 in an overnight attack. The observatory, which relies on a network of activists inside the country, said the death toll is likely to rise because many of the injured were in critical condition. Syrian rebels have shelled residential areas in government-held parts of the contested city in the past, killing hundreds of people. Government warplanes have dropped explosive-filled barrels on rebel-held neighborhoods in Aleppo and other cities, killing thousands. A suicide car bomber today attacked Iraqi forces west of the capital, Baghdad, killing at least 6 troops. The attacker drove an explosive rigged Humvee into a military headquarters in the town of Garma, where government forces and allied militias have been battling Daesh militants. The dead included 3 soldiers and 3 militia members. 9 other troops were wounded. A medical official confirmed the casualty figures. Backed by airstrikes from the U.S.-led coalition, Iraqi government forces have been trying to dislodge their militants from Garma, east of the Daesh-held city of Fallujah. Security forces have reported slow progress in recent weeks. Iraqi Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi welcomed Canadian Prime Minister Stephen Harper to Baghdad today. Al-Abadi praised Canada's support for Iraq in its fight against Daesh group militants. Harper pledged to continue his government's support for Iraq before heading north to meet with Kurdish officials. Canada is a member of the international coalition battling Daesh group and has a military base in Khazar, west of Erbil. Al-Abadi hailed Canada's role in that coalition as essential and called on the international community to join forces against the extremist threat. An emergency meeting on Yemen by the UN Security Council ended Friday, with the 15 members unable to agree on an immediate statement on the growing crisis. The ambassador from Russia, which called the meeting, wondered why his colleagues talk about the need to help but can't take action. Meanwhile, clashes between fighters loyal to President Abdurrahman Mansour Hadi and Houthi fighters continue for control of the main airport in Yemen's southern port city of Aden. At least 27 civilians and fighters from both sides were killed yesterday in the fight for the airport, as well as the port district of Muala, a local militia source said. Japan's military medical team today treated people in Kathmandu, Nepal, who were affected by last week's deadly earthquake. The 7.8 magnitude earthquake has killed at least 6,600 people, affecting millions of the people in the country and displaced many from their homes. Nepali government officials have said efforts to step up the pace of delivery of relief material to remote areas were frustrated by a shortage of supply trucks and drivers, many of whom had returned to their villages to help their families. Meanwhile, the Nepali military have organized food donations twice a day at a relief camp in the capital. The UN said 8 million of Nepal's 28 million people were affected, with at least 2 million needing tents, water, food, and medicines over the next 3 months. Under the patronage of His Excellency Ahmed bin Nasser Al Mahrazi, Minister of Tourism, the Beach Handball Championship is organized by Oman Handball Association in cooperation with the Ministry of Sports Affairs. The tournament started last night and will last for 7 days. More details in the following report by Abdullah bin Ahmed Al Rubai.
The 5th Asian Men's and Women's Beach Handball Championship kicked off last night at Sultan Qaboos Sports Complex. 6 nations, including Oman, in the men's section, while 5 categories will vie for the top honors in the women's category. The tournament was opened with a ceremony featuring performances that reflect the importance of hosting by the Sultanate. The opening ceremony included performance from Omani folklore, in addition to a welcoming performance and speeches of the tournament from Oman side by Sheikh Sultan Al Husni, organizing committee head, and from the president of Asian Handball Association president by Badr Al-Diab on behalf of His Excellency Sheikh Fahad, president of Asian Handball Association. The opening match between our Oman national male handball team with their counterpart Vietnam ended 2-0, with our national team winning the first half of match 23-13 and the second half 15-9, and thus winning the first match with victory. And our national team player Saeed Al-Hassani awarded man of the match due to his excellent performance. The opening of the tournament was preceded by two matches for women's teams. The first, which was played by the Jordanian and Turkmenistan, and in spite of Turkmenistan leading in the first half 11-8, Jordanian women team managed to win the second half 15-8. Finally, Jordan won the match with penalties by 4-3. The second match between Vietnam and Thailand women's teams, it was Vietnam won the first half 17-12. However, Thailand managed to win the second half 17-16 and won the match with penalties 6-4. The match between Qatar and Bahraini male team ended 2-0. In the first half, Bahraini team was leading. However, quickly Qatar managed to change its tactics and won 21-13 in the first half. In the second half, Qatar team managed to control the match, in which they have clearly demonstrated physical and technical skills and ended up winning the second half 20-22. Thus, Qatar team won their first match. Pakistan team in their first match with Iran obtained their first victory by winning both first and second half matches, where first half Pakistan scored 16-14 and second half 15-12. This extravaganza assumes significance as it will serve as a qualifying tournament for the World Championship in Hungary in 2016. The Biennial Championship will take place in Budapest, Margaret Island. Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubi'i, Sultanate of Oman Television.
Now for the general weather forecast. Dusty skies will prevail over the coastal areas of the Sea of Oman, and rest of the Sultanate will have clear skies with chances of low clouds and fog during late night and early morning in the Governorate of Al-Wusta. Winds will be southwesterly light to moderate along the coastal areas of the Sea of Oman, and it will be northwesterly light to moderate along the rest of the Sultanate. Seas along the coast of the Governorate of Musandam and Arabian Sea will be slight to moderate with a maximum wave height of 2 meters, while it will be slight along the rest of the coast with a maximum wave height of 1 meter. This is the Sultanate of Oman Television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Research Council Awareness Campaign visits South Bulletin to spread the culture of innovation and entrepreneurship. Fish production in the Sultanate increases by 12.6% during the first quarter of the year. And the Sultanate's pavilion in Milano Expo attracts great number of visitors. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.